Rutgers fans, Scarlet Nation, everybody interested in Rutgers basketball or Big Ten basketball, I just want to say hello. My name is Larry K. Lawrence Crane, Luciato. I have a lot of different names. For those of you who don't know, and I'm sure a lot don't, I'm a big Rutgers fan. I'm a graduate with 2 degrees, undergrad and grad school from Rutgers University. I'm also a contributor to On the Banks. I've written several pieces for them, and you might recognize me as a member of the Roundtable, the staff Roundtable predictions here and there. It's kind of a side hobby, but look, I run several other podcasts, the Logic and Larry podcast, a different podcast for pro sports, NFL football. So this is the first video and the launch of Night Watch, which I intend to start off as a Rutgers men's basketball focused program. And depending on how things go with this channel, depending on how things go overall, I may also start including some football content. I'm a season ticket holder for both football and men's basketball. I pay. Sorry guys, it's Friday and I've had a heck of a long week, and no, I don't feel like taking the time to edit this thing the way some might want, but maybe down the road. I pay close attention to Rutgers basketball day in and day out, and game in and game out. And I thought this would be an interesting platform to share my thoughts, to invite conversation, to invite dialogue on our beloved men's basketball Rutgers Scarlet Knights. So we are only a few days away from the November 7th regular season home opener against Columbia. We have a few games after that, which we know. You got Sacred Heart, you got UMass Lowell after that. And look, I think despite losing Geo Baker and Ron Harper Jr., I'm quite excited about this team this year. I think Coach Peichel has shown us season to season that he develops young players, that the team that he's going to put on the court at Jersey Mike's, also known as the Rack Arena, and that the team he's going to bring on the road to the Big Ten and beyond is going to be formidable. I am excited about this year. I think based on some of the players' comments, despite losing those top scorers and more importantly maybe those leaders from the locker room, I think this team is going to have a new dynamic, a new way of playing. I think we're going to see a lot more ball movement, a lot less one-on-ones, and a lot more creating opportunities by moving the ball, feeding the ball down low into the post, and then kicking it out, etc. I think Cliff Omori is in for a very big, I think he probably had a breakout season last year, you could call it, but he's in for a big season this year. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the country. That's no secret. That's being talked about in national as well as Big Ten as well as Northeastern circles. He's improved, rumor has it, on his mid-range and his outside shot, which is only going to make him more lethal. With him as a centerpiece, along with Paul Mulcahy, who I think is going to really step into his own, we saw him really take the reins. We saw him break out as not just a pivotal piece of this team, but as a star player in the Big Ten last year during that stretch mid-season where they needed to go up against several top-ranked teams in the Big Ten, beat them in order to stay in contention for the tournament. I think Paul's going to shine. I think a transfer like Cam Spencer, we're going to see add some outside shooting. And I think some of these younger players that we've been waiting to really see break out, I think Dean Reber had a bit of a breakout season last year to an extent. He showed what he could do from the outside. He showed he could get in the game and make an impact in the game. I think Dean's going to step up, but I've been hearing nothing but great things about Mawot Mag. And I think a player like Mawot Mag, who was somebody who was maybe a bit under the radar the last few years, is the exact type of player that you're going to see, and that we do see in these Peichel programs, take steps up and really make an impact. And I think Mag is going to be one of the shining stars this year, believe it or not. Caleb McConnell, we all know, I think he's vying at this juncture for a national player, defensive player of the year. type role. He's one of the best, if not the best, player in the Big Ten still. That was solidified last year with the award. So we're bringing back a formidable team, and you know how much of an advantage the Rack, a.k.a. Jersey Mike's, can be. I'll be in the building. You'll be in the building. So there's a lot to look forward to this season. I think there's a lot that we're going to be looking for with the younger players, with the established players. It's going to be interesting to see whether Peichel plays guys in what positions, whether that's matchup based for the teams that we're playing, or whether that's, you know, kind of a consistent thing. There was a lot of talk last year amongst the fan base on message boards, etc., that Dean Reber could not play the 4, would not play the 4. That myth has been kicked to the curb. He's definitely going to get some minutes at the 4. I wonder if that's going to be, you know, matchup dependent. Do you want him and Cliff on the floor at the same time? Does that present problems for certain teams because they can both now shoot mid-range, shoot from the outside, and they're a big lineup? Do you not want Dean in there at certain times? Maybe you want a Hyatt in there. Maybe you want a Mag in there. Who do you want in there for speed on the defensive side of the ball? Dean, despite his offensive prowess and despite playing very tough down low, I think we saw last year, did have some struggles here and there, but he's growing another year. I think we've seen most of Steve Peichel's players take their biggest leap between their sophomore and their junior year. I mean, that makes sense. It's going from an underclassman to an upperclassman. I think it's to be expected. So there's a lot of narratives to explore this year. This channel's just getting started, so I wasn't going to go on this huge, deep statistical dive or game-by-game prediction. I will say that we have all come to realize now, especially, watching Rutgers basketball the last few seasons, that there are ebbs and flows to these seasons. We are going to have winning streaks. We are hopefully not, but probably going to see losing streaks. We are going to have players in slumps. We are going to have players, you know, riding high for a few games. This is going to be a fun season. And this channel is in its infancy. So if you're interested in Rutgers sports, primarily Rutgers basketball, if you're interested in Big Ten basketball, I do not intend for this channel to simply be focused only on Rutgers. It will be primarily Rutgers. I'm a Rutgers fan, but I've seen some other channels out there too for other Big Ten teams. I think Big Ten basketball, as a community, as a competitive league, you know, as for parity, as for traveling from one arena to the next, I think Big Ten basketball is one of the best communities and one of the best environments in college sports. So I'm looking for this also to be a platform to discuss Big Ten basketball in general. If you are a fan of Big Ten basketball, a fan of Rutgers athletics in any way, or just like good sports talk, please scroll right below this video. This is an upstart channel. Please smash the subscribe button and get ready for a lot of good content from me, and hopefully some discussion with me if you want to hop on with me at some point. I do have the capacity to maybe have some panels, some discussions. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for now. Let's get this channel on the map a little bit. But I look forward to an exciting season in Big Ten basketball. I look forward to not only writing pieces for On the Banks that correspond to Rutgers basketball, but also to having discussions, breaking down games, you know, celebrating with you, you know, being dejected with you when necessary, and just having a great Rutgers basketball season. And I am very excited for what this channel could become. I'm very excited for where this team is going. We are trying to do what no Rutgers team has done before, and that's make 3 straight NCAA tournaments. I know technically we may have already done that because of the COVID year we should have been in, but tangibly making 3 tournaments, we're trying to do that for the first time this year. I think we have a shot. It remains to be seen how the chemistry is going to unfold and how things are going to play out in the season. And let's face it, the first couple games that start this week, you know how Pike does things. So don't get too crazy. You know he's going to mix up the lineups. He's going to mix up how we're running our defensive and offensive sets. He's going to play with the substitutions. It might take us a little bit to get off the ground, but we got to try to avoid the type of slow start we had last year. That's for darn sure, okay? But I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to putting content out here. I'm looking forward to, getting more bells and whistles associated with this channel and getting a little more things going with this channel as it grows. And this is the very first video before the season this year, and I hope to grow over the season and future seasons to come. Again, if you're a fan of the Big Ten, you're a fan of Rutgers, smash the subscribe button. Let's get ready for the season, and let's get ready for a ton of great content. And you know what? I will see many of you this Saturday as Rutgers takes on Michigan in football. I'm in the blue lot. You can come find me anytime. Those who know, know. Until then, I'll see you guys kind of maybe right before or right after the Columbia game. We'll break it down. We'll talk about it. Until then, man, go RU. See you soon.